It is early Friday evening and Mark is getting ready to leave. He is looking forward to the evening's league volleyball game where Minji is expected to play with his team for the first time. As he gets ready to walk out, he gets a call on his cell phone from his former college classmate Bill Ingalls. Bill is an executive for Radio Shack, and after reminiscing, Bill tells Mark that there is an opening for a district manager at Radio Shack for the Washington state area. He goes on to tell Mark about what the position entails, what the benefits are, and even some of the downsides of the job, making sure he presents a realistic picture. After some exchanges about the position, Bill says,
"Mark, this is all of the sudden, I know, so think about it over the weekend and let me know if you are interested, because the ultimate decision is up to me."
They catch up on some of their professional and personal stories, and Mark says he will call Bill back soon. After the phone call, Mark thinks,
Bill was kind of a father figure to me in college and actually wanted me to go to work for Radio Shack a long time ago. One thing I know for sure, he certainly would not mislead me. Geez, what am I going to do here?
Mark's team wins the evening's volleyball game with Minji putting on a stellar performance. The group all goes out to celebrate, and Mark gets Minji aside to ask her if he can call her Saturday to discuss a really important professional issue that just came up. He briefly mentions what it is. She says she can't on Saturday, but could on Sunday, so they agree to meet then for lunch. On Saturday, the news spreads like wildfire. Brian, Dwayne and Kelly, returning from their Portland trip, are in a major car accident. A drunk driver slammed into their car. Brian is severely injured while Kelly and Dwayne have less severe injuries but will be hospitalized for at least a week. Most of the company have heard the news by 6 p.m. and phone calls are flying everywhere. Brian is reported to be in Northwest Hospital with severe spinal and head injuries, while Kelly and Dwayne have concussions and some broken or fractured bones. It is unclear at this time if Brian will completely recover, and if he does recover, if he will be somewhat incapacitated. Liam and Corey are devastated. Minji and Mark meet for lunch, and as expected, their conversation immediately turns to the tragic news. After discussing what they have heard about the recovery prospects for all persons involved.
Poor Liam, what a terrible blow. He himself is not doing so great. And now this.
The discussion continues down this line for a while. Then Mark says,
"Minji, this is probably not the place or time to talk about this, but what I wanted to ask you was..."
He tells her about the phone call from his very good friend Bill Ingalls, and of Bill's offer.
Whoa? That sounds like a great offer. Do you know much about the company?
She reminds Mark of the various topics and issues they have been dealing with over the last 8 months or so, and to think about what those kinds of issues would be like at Radio Shack. She also mentions that this position would be very different from what he is doing now.
Remember, Mark, your success would depend on how you get others to do things, not on you doing them yourself. Speaking of offers, now I have something else to tell you. I am very sure you are going to be offered the position of VP of Marketing here, and will maybe offered the position of COO as well.
She then tells Mark about Lucy's situation.
"Oh no, I do not think I can digest any more information. Are you going to tell me you are getting married next?"
After that, they do talk a bit about their own personal situations, and Mark finds that Alan is her brother, not boyfriend. They end up spending a couple of hours together.
Well, my gosh, we have talked away half the afternoon. And you have a lot more to think about. Even though the grant ends in a week, I can help with things for you to consider, and I'm sure Joe would be willing to help. In fact, he may be a bit more objective than me. I would not be surprised if Liam asks us to stay on for a while because of all that's happened. We will have to see about that since we already have another QQL contract. But I am certainly willing to volunteer some of my time. Besides, I guess I will be around now that you guys roped me into this volleyball league.
They agree to meet again soon. Despite all that has happened in the company, Mark gets a letter on Tuesday from corporate announcing the 2 positions. The letter urges applicants to apply immediately given the tragic events that have just occurred. Mark wonders if and how many others may be applying for the positions. He decides to stop by Toby's restaurant at night to see who might be around. Which path should Mark choose? 1. Apply for the new corporate VP marketing position. 2. Take the regional manager position at Radio Shack. 3. Apply for the COO position. 4. Decline all offers and stay as GM of Store 1.